The 1 o'clock meal came with my draft notice. So I went from a pretty good high to a very low low in the span of a few hours. I figured at the time, everybody, you owe your country a little bit of service one way or the other. And so, well, instead of Vista, I guess it'll be the Army. I was in north in Quang Tri province, which is up borders the DMZ, at the far north of South Vietnam. In 1989, my oldest brother John and myself and the brother between us, Mark, and a friend, went over to just to see what it was like. At that time, we were just walking around and looking and enjoying it, and it was really, a beautiful evening and whatnot. And we sat down on the bench, and within minutes, we were probably surrounded by 50 Amerasian orphan kids. And many of them had their pictures of who they thought was their father and whatnot. And you know this guy, do you know that guy? And they all had their stories. Whenever you travel, you're going to learn something if you're open to it. I can tell you, after I got out of the Army, I spent the first summer here. The next summer, I traveled around the country, and then I got a cheap ticket to Ireland and hitchhiked around Ireland, England, and Scotland for 45 days. And during that time, one ride from Cork to Dublin, I got picked up by a former MP from Northern Ireland. It didn't take him but a couple of minutes to find out I was a Vietnam vet. I must have shown it somehow. But anyway, so he starts talking, and he starts filling me in on a lot of the history, which I was completely unaware of. As I said, I made the mistake of not looking at the details. And I kind of shook my head. I listened to him, but I didn't argue with him. I just listened to him. But as soon as I got home, I checked the details, and he was right on everything he said. And so that's probably woke me up to stay more awake for the rest of my days. Seeing what went on in Vietnam, seeing what goes on today, has probably turned me more into a more certainly anti-interventionist person. What we get from the media is not always what is. And that's the biggest problem I think we have in this country. You can take 9/11, which was a real tragedy, of course, but if you look at it from a pragmatic point of view, numbers-wise, there's 3,000 people. Sounds like a lot of people. But when you look at the statistics, we killed 3,000 innocent people in Vietnam every week of that war. We're not living up to our ideals, as far as I'm concerned. I would say, if the place that you're ever interested in, go and explore it. The world is full of very interesting people and places.